Hi, everybody.
Wait. Can you hold this?
What?
Well, I know that
What are you doing?
today's topic is the right way to practice new memories, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm just lighting the candles.
Practice your memories. No.
Oh,
No. Nice try, though. I mean, if that's what you find fun.
all right.
Hi,
So,
everybody.
yeah, sorry for that. But yeah, today's topic is, in fact, the right way to practice your new memories.
Right, to rehearse your new memories. But before we do, we just had a knock at the door, like literally not long before we started this Facebook Live video. And it was...
Oh, I thought that this was the start of a knock-knock joke. Sorry.
No, it was the author proof copy of our brand new book. The print copy of the ebook that we've done, but there's a lot more in this copy. So there it is. There you can see it's very exciting. This bit here just says that it's not for sale. I can't figure out how to. There we go.
Well, we intend to have it for sale, right?
Yes. This is the author proof copy, and we're very excited and happy to say it is perfect. So we will be approving it. And it will be available on Amazon. And today, we wanted to just read the acknowledgements in the book. So, can I read the acknowledgement?
Of course.
Is that okay?
Wait, should I top off my coffee?
If you wish. All right. So the acknowledgement is: we would like to express a special thank you to Robert G. Smith, creator of FasterEFT. Without him and his modality, we would not have made the changes we've made to our own lives, including meeting each other at one of his training seminars. And this book would not exist. Thank you, Robert, for everything you've done and continue to do. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Robert.
All right. So now to our topic. So how to rehearse, the right way to rehearse your memories,
Correct.
Right? Your new childhood memories. So what is the right way, Steve?
How about a preamble first? Why are we doing this?
Right. So we discovered that this topic actually came up in our Patreon community. And we found that there were people who were feeling quite stressed and pressured by needing to do it the right way and doing it in great detail. And it was putting them off rehearsing their new memories very often. So, or yes, in a lot of cases.
Yeah, some people felt like they had so much detail in their new memories, and they were feeling like, oh, every time I go back, the details changed, or it's just taking me too long to do this.
That's it. Or I don't know what details to include. There were different challenges for different people. So we did a podcast, one of our daily podcasts for our community on this topic, and we got such a great response, feedback saying it helped so much that we thought we'd share it with you too. So the answer to the right way to rehearse your new childhood memories is that there's no one way, and it's going to depend on the individual. The main thing is that when you refer to the memory, it's the new memory in whatever way you refer to it. So it depends on how each person's brain processes information differently. So for me, for example, when I rehearse a new memory, it's just maybe one picture and a feeling and a knowing. That's basic, and that can represent an entire scene. So I was saying to Steve this morning when we were talking about it, that if my new memory was Steve walked in the door and he had all these parcels, and so this is what actually happens. Let's say he comes in and he gives me a present, and I open the present, and all of that detail for me, if I were to practice that new memory, it would just be the present. That's all I would remember. That's all that I would refer to. And I have a knowing that all the rest happens. So mine is very quick. It takes seconds to practice a whole scene because I literally just check in. It's there, it's new, that's fine. If it's not, so if I check in and there's something from the old memory or something, then I'll change that. So that's me, and you do it differently.
Well, yeah, and again, the way that we do these, you know, everybody's going to do this however their brain processes information, but it's, you know, it should also be what feels fun for you.
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know, my brain I see things in a lot of pictures. I often see like little video clips. So that same example, you know, I may see like this short little video of it replaying in my head, right. You know, or there may be, you know, 3 or 4 pictures or something that's there for me. But yeah, it never feels stressful. I kind of just enjoy replaying the old memory of it, or
right.
replaying the video of it.
Yeah. And for other people, they like to write it down and read it. So we have someone in our community who's wonderful with, she actually shares her new memories in our forum, in our community forum, which is wonderful for everybody to refer to. So she writes down in great detail, and it's lovely. It's like reading a story. And for her, she loves doing it. Now, if you don't like doing this, you find that a chore, you don't enjoy it, or you feel stress or pressure, then that's not the way for you to do it. You can do it the way I do, just refer to it.
If I can jump in, I know for myself that writing the memories down for me also is a good practice, because it helps to build that neural pathway.
Right.
And, you know, something for us to look up maybe in the future. I know that there's brain research out there about actually writing something down, and the physical act of writing it down, making a neural pathway. Yes. Something, but I know for myself, I basically got through high school just by taking good notes.
Right.
You know, I never read any of the textbooks, but if I listened to the teachers and wrote really good notes, I was able to make that connection. I remembered things much better. So for me, the act of writing it out, and I know that when I redo memories, or when I'm rehearsing memories, you know, I'm writing them down. I take the time to write them down, especially now what we're doing with rewriting generational memories, generational childhoods. You know, I've got a special journal that I'm using to actually write that story down. I don't necessarily go back and reread it every time word for word, but the act of writing it down really helps quite a bit. Right.
And then for other people, I know we have a client who, Rebecca, who she records her new memories. So, you know, when we work with clients, we do get them to write a few words of the new memory to remind themselves for when they practice it. And what she does is she writes a little bit more detail, and then she records it on her phone, and she listens to it while she's at the gym. So I was thinking that would be a great idea actually for going to sleep as well. If you want to record your new memories and then just put in earphones and as you're falling asleep, listen to those wonderful new memories. The other option is to get a friend or family member to record it in their voice, because that may give you an extra level of acceptance, reassurance, you know, that kind of thing. That might be a really nice idea to do. So you might want to try that. The bottom line is you don't have to do a full length feature film with props and detailed scenery.
Exactly.
You can you do whatever feels good for you, as long as, because your subconscious doesn't need details. The details are just because it's fun, it's enjoyable. What you do want to make sure is that when you refer to the memory in whatever way you refer to it, so when you think of it, when you play it, when you just know what's there, whatever, however you do it, that it is the new information and nothing from the old information. If there is, you just change that and replay it. So
now, a couple of great questions here that really just fit in with what we're talking about. Yeah. I'm going to jump out of sequence just a little bit, but so Amy, just to hop on what you were saying, Amy says there's no length of time that you have to stay in that memory.
No,
so absolutely. You don't have you. So if you practice 10 memories in 20 seconds total is fine.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you what. So I've done quite a lot of work on my childhood. I've changed a lot of memories. Now my entire childhood is literally 2 pictures and a knowing. And a feeling. That's it. So,
but I think it's also important to note that we've been doing this for a while.
Yes. So that's
when
it's all boiled down to.
When I initially started working or initially change a memory, I'll spend more time rehearsing that memory, several times a day for that first week.
Exactly.
And the more you do it, the stronger that neural network will get.
Yes.
And eventually, so for me, long story. So for me, like this one section of my early childhood, like at around about a year old, is now literally just one picture.
Right.
And I just kind of like notice that, and it automatically goes to that new memory, that new scene, and that's really all that I need to know. That feeling. So no longer is there a feeling of abandonment or being alone. That feeling of being loved, and I can see that scene, and boom, I'm done.
That's it. So I think, no, the answer is no, there's no set time to spend on those memories, but as long as you make sure that it is the new memory. So for some people, they'll want to play the scene, in chronological order, because that's what feels good and feels like it's making sure. Whereas for other people, they may just want to think about it, and they may see a picture or hear a phrase, the new phrase or whatever it is, and go, yep, that's the new memory. So it's just checking it.
Yeah. Juanine says, how do you...
playing it,
Sorry. Juanine says, how do you know when you have effectively removed all the emotional charge from a memory? I am very insecure and and I don't know when to begin to make new positive memories. I'm not a strong feeler. Okay,
very good. So good question. So if you go to a memory and you don't notice that there's any bad memories there, you can't feel anything, any bad feelings, sorry, you can't feel anything, then just accept that and move on with changing the memory. And if feelings do come up when you start to try to change the memory, then you just tap those down. But I wouldn't worry about second guessing it or anything, because if the feelings are there, you'll feel them. If they're not there, you won't feel them. But what I mean is, if the information is there, and when you go to change it, that's when the feelings may come up. And if they don't, great, just change the memory. The only reason for bringing the feelings down is to enable you to change the information. So it's the feelings that prevent us from changing the information in the memory, and you want to bring those down to be able to change it.
Yep. Sarah just made a comment. Got to agree with both. The writing helps simply having a backup to read every now and then, but also simply referring to it is good for me.
And that is actually, so if you're worried that you're coming up, you're feeling stressed that you're not doing it right, or that you're not coming up with enough details and so on, write the facts down of the memory. So write down the information that's in the new memory, and then your version of rehearsing it can literally just be reading it every day, several times a day. 12 times a day.
Amy says, so you started with many memories, and then with time it got shorter.
Oh yes. So with the new memories, when as you change memories, really you don't need to rehearse them longer than a week. So 7 days with individual memories, 12 times a day for 7 days, that should be enough. And then you just check your childhood, check sections of it.
I kind of think about it this way, that we've had years, decades of memories that have gotten us to this point. We don't replay through those memories every day, but we just have this sort of knowing that my life sucks.
That's right.
I just have this general feeling that I'm a loser. My life sucks. Everything goes bad for me. It's just that knowing that happens, but I'm not replaying all those memories.
Exactly.
It's that same type of process.
So it's only in the beginning that you need to do that.
And eventually you'll get to that tipping point where it's like, oh, yeah, that was my new childhood. My new childhood was wonderful. I now live in America, or whatever.
Exactly.
Right? Just checking a couple. If I change the title of an old memory, how do I know that practicing the new memory is actually replacing or related to the old one? In other words, how do I know that the old one actually changed and that it isn't just a brand new unrelated memory? I hope that makes sense. That's from Kara.
Yes, that makes sense. So for example, let's say I have a memory of being bullied in a specific classroom in school. Now, so when I think of that classroom, I remember the bullies and the terrible things that they said or did or whatever. So now I want to change that. So I'm in that classroom, and now I've changed it to where the bullies are doing a cabaret or whatever. Okay, so they're doing cabaret. Now, here's how I know that it's not a new memory. A separate memory. So I'm going about my day, and I think of the classroom, and if the first thing that comes to mind is the bullies wearing high heels and feather boas, then I know that's the new memory to change. If, however, I think of that classroom and I remember something, like I see a bully's face or I feel something, then I know it's not changed. So then I just work on it until it changes. So it's like looking up the reference, looking it up and noticing what comes first to mind.
Right. Good.
And if you practice if you rehearse the memories, the more however you rehearse them, whether you play it in detail or you just check or you see a picture or a phrase, whatever, however you do it, if you do it enough, which is we recommend 12 times a day, and again, you can do it while you're brushing your teeth, driving your car, it doesn't matter, don't close your eyes while you're driving your car, you don't need to close your eyes, while you're doing chores, whatever it is, if you refer to it, rehearse it enough, then you will, when you think of it, the new one will be the first thing that comes to mind.
Right.
Because you will have established and strengthened that new neural network.
Right. And I've just posted, for those people that may be new to this, I just posted a couple of links to where to begin in terms of changing your childhood memories. I know that we're not addressing any of that right now, but this is about rehearsing those new memories. And again, maybe just to kind of wrap it up or to summarize it a little bit, there is no right way to do this, and for heaven's sakes, don't make it difficult. Yes,
because it's more important that you do even just a little bit vaguely, just referring to it, than nothing at all. So if it's feeling like a chore because you think I have to sit down in the lotus position and close my eyes and go through all this and it takes forever, then change how you're doing it. Just refer to it. Think of make it just a picture or just a phrase. So whatever it is, just make it as easy as possible and enjoyable.
So let us back up just a second here, because I think that you might have to throw us a little discussion about stepping stones in here.
Okay.
Amy says, but what if you've changed it so much that it's a different place, totally different? For example, being sick in the hospital to going to Disney World.
Very good question. Okay, and I did that with parts of my childhood, so that the place that where it took place originally now no longer exists. It was first replaced by a beach, and then now it's not even in the same country. I'm not even in the same country.
But the process was a stepping stone.
It's stepping stone. So the hospital thing, change what happened in the hospital first. So you're in the hospital, and now instead of that, they're having a party, or you're getting presents. Something's happening in the hospital. Change that first. Change everything regarding the hospital. And only once that's clean, then you can change it to, now I'm going to Disney World or whatever.
Yeah, because I actually have one of those hospital memories.
Yeah.
And so the way that worked for me was that I had to change, because I had a visual memory. Being a 11-month-old, I had this visual snapshot of being in this nursery left alone. So what I was able to do over time, was to change that, so that setting, that visual image, became a new bedroom now. So over time, it changed to being a new bedroom, and that, my mom and dad are there. It's lovely. So when I go back to that now, when I think about the hospital, the image that pops up is the new.
Right.
So it's that process of making sure that you get rid of all of the negative references.
Yeah, because that took several stages.
Right. It didn't happen. So and jumping from, I never went to the hospital in the first place, bypasses all of the information that's stored in your subconscious that said, I did go to the hospital, I was left alone, and here's the picture.
Yes, right. And so you want to, basically, by using the stepping stone memories to do that, you're dismantling the negative memory. You're dismantling all the bits and pieces of the negative, the data, the information, the proof and evidence that's supporting it, dismantling it. And then once that's dismantled, then you can change it to somewhere else, something else. So hopefully that answers that question. And I think we probably should end, because we've probably been going a little bit longer than
we'd intended. We kind of like to keep these relatively short.
Yeah.
But we hope that was helpful. We will be putting up a link to the book.
Yes, once it's available on Amazon, we will put the link. I'll put a link in the comment section here, as well as, of course, elsewhere. And we FasterEFT Fridays will be starting at 12 noon today Central Time. And if you want to find out about that, sign up for or join us for that. You can find the details on our Patreon. And
I noticed that there's a couple more comments. Please check the comment section below. We'll go ahead and answer those as soon as we're finished up here. But we're going to run for now. Everybody have a great week.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next week.
Have a fabulous rest of your weekend.